Hi, and welcome to ITD122, Computer Applications for Professionals. My name is Helen Mandelinich, and I'm going to be your instructor for the summer session. I just wanted to reach out and greet you and give you a little introduction to the class. I wanted to mention, please do not hesitate to contact me using my email address, hmandelinich@starkstate.edu, with any problems, concerns, or questions that you have. I'm going to introduce you to the overall form of the class. How do you navigate through Blackboard? And then just do a brief introduction into SimNet. I'm going to create a second movie that will walk us through the syllabus and what your requirements are and look at the schedule. But I just wanted to present a face to the name and welcome you to class. Thank you. Okay, so now we're looking at the Blackboard ITD122 class for my section. If you get into Blackboard, I will always present each week announcements, and that will be your landing page. So when you go into Blackboard, it will always land on these announcements. So you can look at that if there's any change to schedule or any updates on anything. That will be on the announcements, as well as what's due that week. So everybody's keeping up to date on what things are due. So I'm going to just let you read through that announcement on your own. And I wanted to bring your attention over here on the left. This very first week, you're going to go into the start here. But after that, there's really two areas that you go: lessons, and then right here is SimNet. So the start here is where we're going to look at the syllabus, and there's information about the overall class. Lessons will be each product and chapter. So like Word Chapter 1, Word Chapter 2, etc. SimNet is the product that you use for this class. And I think one of the big learning curves about this class is that we do some of the stuff here in Blackboard, but we do a lot of the class through SimNet. And so this very first week, early in this first week, because it's a summer condensed session, is we need to get that SimNet set up. I will have another movie on just doing that process, but this is really just to introduce you to the class. So I'm going to come in here to the start here. There will always be this little overview for you, and then there will be two folders. One is a materials folder, and the other is the assignments folder, and that is consistent in every chapter, whether it's in the lessons or in the start here. So if we were to go into the materials from the start here folder, so if I look up here, this is my breadcrumbs, right? So this is the levels that I've gone. I'm in this class, the start here folder, the materials subfolder. And there's a welcome from me. There's different pieces of information that I really want you to read through. I really like this document, this grade record. If you click on it, and I'm in Chrome, so it comes down here at the bottom in my tray. But if you're in Firefox, it will be up here as a down arrow. I suggest using Chrome. Second would be Firefox. Please do not use Internet Explorer, Edge, because SimNet does not play well with it. So if I open up this document that I just downloaded, and it's going onto my other screen, so I will pull it over. It's going to open up this document, and I just think it's a really nice document that you could keep electronically, or you could print it out and update it. But it lists every assignment and the possible point value. So how I would work at this as a student, if you look down here, I currently have an F. Here is the total number of points that you can achieve in this class. So as you move through this, let's say I get a 5 on my syllabus quiz, I get a 5 on my learning quiz, I get my 9 points, and I get a 47 on my Windows test, right? So those are the first 4 assignments. I come in, I have this electronic maybe on my desktop, I just start filling in the numbers, and look, you'll see it's coming. I still have an F, right? But as you move through here, you're going to see your bottom line change. And what this would read is, if you were to stop class at this moment in time, what would you have? And so one of the things that I wanted you to note here is, do you see this extra credit has a 0? But extra credits can be worth 2 points. And so if I got every point in this class and the 2 extra credit points, I could actually achieve over 100%. I could get more than this, but that's not going to happen. But these are really good ways to add some extra points, particularly early in a product. So, chapter 1 of Word, super easy, extra credit, get it done, you get 2 points. Word chapter 2, right? So then when you get to something that's a little harder, like this Excel chapter 2 is probably the hardest chapter in the book, you're going to have that little buffer of points if you maybe don't do so well in this chapter, or you miss some points on a test, or etc. So I would download this and save it to your desktop, and then just update it as you do your points. And that's a really great way for you to own and track your own record of work. And that way, if I make a mistake and you see it, you can have, hey, that's not jiving with what I have. And, because I could make a mistake. So own your own grades, use this document. There's some guidelines, policies, and the big thing in this materials from the start here is the syllabus, right? So I'm just going to open it up. Once again, it downloads. I'm in Chrome, so it's going to open up, and I'm going to pull it over to my other monitor. And I have another movie that goes through this, right? But I did want you to see how to get to it. It has all of the material, and it has all of the assignment due dates, as well as a calendar form. So if you like the visual of what's due when. So once again, I have this built. So there's these check boxes. So as you complete something, check it off. And that way you know where you're standing. Okay. So that's in the Start Here Materials folder. If I go back to using my breadcrumbs, right? So do you see that? I'm in Materials. I just come right up here. So there's no link because I'm in Materials. I can't link to it. I'm already in it. But if you look here, I can go Start Here. So click. It's going to move me back a level in my breadcrumb. And now I can go into Assignments. And you can see there's 2 assignments, a syllabus quiz and an honesty and learning quiz. The answers to these quizzes are found on the syllabus. Okay, so print them out, have it open in another window, and use it to answer these quizzes. All right, so that's basically what's in the Start Here. So then if we go to Lessons, so I went over here and I just clicked on Lessons. And there's this folder here on SimNet, which once again, I'll use a separate movie for that. And then you can see it's broken into each product and then a chapter. So Word chapter 1, Word chapter 2. And then for you, these grayed out ones you're probably not going to see because I haven't enabled them for you. Word chapter 3 and 4. So for Word, we have 4 chapters. Then we have a test, case study. And then there's 3 Excel chapters, a test, 3 Access chapters and a test, and then 2 PowerPoint and a test, right? So not every product do we cover the same number of chapters. So you just want to be careful about that. So if I go into my Word chapter 1, you'll see it's the same format, right? Overview. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what you need to do. Here's the assignments. If you go into materials here, there's our objectives. I have help videos for everything in here. So we'll talk about what that means when I do the syllabus. How to upload to Blackboard's a movie. And then I wanted to show you this study guide. So the first chapter of every product, so Word chapter 1, Excel chapter 1, Access chapter 1, and PowerPoint chapter 1, have one of these study guides. Once again, I would download that if I was a student and either print it off. If you're not a print off person, you don't want to look at it electronically, then you could just have it electronically. And this is all of the items that are on the test, okay? So what I would do is before I even started is I would take a look at these, and then as we cover something, you know, put a check mark, put a page number, something. It could even be a chapter in a screen if you're doing the ebook, so that you know you can organize yourself when you take your test. Because the test in here is open book, open note, but there's a lot of stuff in it. So if you haven't organized your stuff, then it's difficult to get through the test because the test is timed. It's 2 hours. If you don't have like kind of all your ducks in a row. So I would use this document, so like if you know how to create a blank file in Word, like, okay, just check mark it. I'm good. Save a file to a new folder, right? It's not anything that I need. But let's say I go down here something. Okay, add paragraphs, borders to a paragraph, top, bottom, top. So maybe that's like something you're not comfortable with or you haven't done a lot. I would come in here and make either a note or a page number or an example that you did that in one of your homeworks. So when you're taking the test, you could look it up, you could reference this, because none of this is really hard, but a lot of it is knowing where to go to do something, right? So that's my bit of advice for that. Then we always have a PowerPoint, and then there might be other documents, right? So clearing formatting in a Word document. That was something that's very simple, but students kept missing that. And so I just did a little thing on how to do that, right? So it's just a little instructions, and then there's a little practice, right? So you can do this little practice if you want to practice doing that. Some of the chapters have it, some of them don't. Then if I use my breadcrumbs and I go back and I look at my assignments, you're going to notice that really in Blackboard for each chapter we only have one assignment, and that's what's called the pause and practice. That is the assignments that you do as you're walking through the chapter. I have movies for every pause and practice, so it would be like you were sitting in a lecture and I'm telling you how to go through these steps, okay? So you would always, always come to this screen in the chapter, find what files you need for completing the work. So in this one, I don't need anything for Word Pause and Practice 1.1, but when I get to 1.2, I'm going to need this, so I need to download it. And so the way that this works is it's called a pause and practice. So if you're reading through the chapter, you'll learn some stuff, and then you're going to take a minute and pause, and you're going to practice the stuff that you just learned. You do it. You continue going through the new material. You're going to pause again and continue with the same file, right? So in this particular chapter, we have 3 pause and practices. So 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. We never submit anything to this folder until you're all the way at the end. I want one file that is the end of the chapter. I don't care about these pauses in the middle of the chapter, okay? I would like you to use this naming convention, so your initials, so mine would be HJM PP for pause and practice. W in this case, because we're in Word, it could be an E, it could be an A, or it could be a P, depending upon which product. Chapter, we're in chapter 1, and then what is the last pause and practice? 1.3. So that number at the end would either be a 3 or a 4, because there's either 3 or 4 pauses and practices in a chapter. So you would submit that in Blackboard, and to submit, you always go to this link at the top, and you click on it, right? So you can see right here is the due date. It's worth 13 points. Browse your computer, upload it, and submit. This assignment I hand grade, okay? The rest of the work is in SimNet, okay? And I'm going to go to SimNet because I have my account and already have it single sign-on and the gradebook synced. The first time you do this, it's not going to appear like it is now. So understand that you have a little process you have to go through before you get to what I'm getting to right now. So SimNet takes a second here to load. We're going to get a screen that's going to have our book on it, maybe. Not usually that slow. Okay, so this is the book that you're going to get. And so you can see right here, I have already paired because it comes up right here to the right class. And so once you're through that pair process and you are attached to my SimNet class, this is what you're going to see. Then always you would click this where it says SimNet SimGrader. It's going to take you into SimNet. Now I'm an instructor, so let me go over to Student View, and then I am the administrator of this, so I have everybody. So just give me a second here. This will be what you see, right? Mandolin age 010999, summer 20. This is my Web3. So we have groups, right? So once again, I'm going to come over here to Word Chapter 1. Notice it's all grayed out because class hasn't started yet. But once you do that, it will no longer be grayed out. You can always see the due date and due time. And there's an orange top and a blue top. This is your sim book for those people that only have the ebook. This is where you would always go. It's open the entire semester, even though it says a due date, and that's for something called Let Me Tries, which I'll explain during the syllabus. Then the blue topped ones are our labs, the homeworks. And then the last blue one is always the extra credit. This is how every product except for Windows looks. Okay, ebook with the Let Me Tries, 2 required assignments, and a 3rd extra credit. Now, if I'm done and I want to go back, I'm going to, yours will say to LMS, and it will take you back to here. You then just will close, and it'll take you back to Blackboard. All right, so start here, get that material read, do your 2 quizzes, and then start pairing your SimNet using the instructions that I provide for you, and then we'll take it from there. All right, this is going a little long, so I'm gonna stop this movie and then pick up the next movie at our syllabus for the semester. All right, thank you guys and welcome.